Like every time we do a lesson, the screen be all small. Or go live at least. Okay. Should fit everybody. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. All right. This is going to be a quick hit, man. Lord willing, it's going to be edifying. Everything in this place, everything on this side is temporary, man. Okay, meaning that, like the scriptures talk about a corruptible crown.
Yeah.
Let's get that real quick. Okay, and then also 1 Corinthians 15, where it talks about the flesh is gonna, the mortal flesh is gonna be cast off, and the immortal is gonna be put on. Okay, let's see here. I got you. All right, cool. I got the 1 Corinthians. This 1 Corinthians chapter 15, and I'm gonna start at verse 51. It reads, "Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed." That's a beautiful concept that our people have not accepted, man. Okay, read that again, Baba Kusha. Yep, this 1 Corinthians 15 and 51. "Behold, I show you a mystery." A mystery, that means something that's not revealed to ordinary mortals. If somebody gives you a mystery, that's, knowledge is wealth and power. That's a wonderful thing. Okay, go ahead. It says, "We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed." See that? We're not all going to die a mortal death. When we say we, it's talking about those that believe in Yahushua. Okay, those that finish the race. Okay, we're not going to all, remember what Yahushua said, there'll be some standing here that shall not taste of death. Right? So that's the understanding of that. Okay, go ahead. Verse 52, "In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible." Right, in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. All right, this is something that ultimately the Lord revealed, right, to Paul, okay, for us to receive that information in these last days, man. The Wadi Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that this information was preserved, okay? Because, I mean, without a couple of these scriptures, you know what I mean? Like, that's the only surviving stuff that we have, without a couple of these key precepts, right? But the Lord preserved it for a reason. All right, it says, "In the twinkling of an eye," go ahead. Yep, it's 1 Corinthians 15, 52. "In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound." Right, what's the trump? The last trump basically is signifying the return of Yahushua. Okay, that's when the Lord comes back. Revelation, what is that? Revelation 11, or I think it's 11, where it talks about, or 9, where it talks about those trumps.
Yeah, I know 9 talks about it.
Yeah, it's like a shorter chapter. I think Revelation 9, where it talks about they prepared themselves to sound.
Yeah.
Oh, that's ultimately talking about the second coming of the Lord, man. Okay, just going off memory. You know what I'm saying? We don't gotta get it. But was there more on that, or is that? Yep, it's more. Okay. It says, hold on one second. What else was we holding?
You wanted the 1 Corinthians 9, but I ain't know you wanted that.
Yeah, we're gonna get that as well. Hold that, keep that held. Let's finish this in that 15. Yep, this is the bottom of the verse. It says, "For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed." Right, it says the dead shall be raised incorruptible. Okay, meaning that basically the individuals that died in the faith, right? That's why you shouldn't fear death. That's why the title of this lesson is what? Everything here is temporary on this side. Everything on this side, you should look at it like, what is that in Philippians? "I count all things but dung for the excellency of Yahushua." That's 1 Corinthians 3, I believe. You know what I'm saying? Okay? Because at the end of the day, all this stuff, man, like I said, you're not gonna take it with you when you go to the spirit world, man. So it can be cool, because really Esau, his job in the last days of the last days has been to make you has been to make you fall in love with this hell.
Yep.
His job is to make you think like, you know what, man, the flesh ain't all that bad. Because remember, this is his kingdom. This is his. Look at this shit. This is dominion. Let's just, man, we don't have no damn slingshots in the kingdom, man. You know. But yeah, that's his thing. Like basically Esau's job, because he's basically the workman for Satan.
Yep.
You see? So his job is to get you to be like, man, you know what, man? Being down here in this flesh ain't all half bad. We get to pick what color car we want. You know, we get video games, you know, fast food, casual drugs. You know what I'm saying? Because it's sad, when you think of drugs, you think of negative drugs, like things that people abuse. You know what I mean? But really, you know, there's natural drug, like drug. The whole word drugs, it's a wide spectrum. You know what I'm saying? But you have things, you know, that obviously people abuse, and Esau finds a way to abuse everything. You see? So ultimately, man, this whole thing gotta go. It gotta be scrapped. Okay. Is there more on that? That's it on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get what else we need.
You wanted 1 Corinthians 9.
Yeah.
Did you? I'm reading the KJV. I was going to say, can I get it in the NLT also?
Yeah. Go ahead. Get in the NLT. Go ahead.
All right. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25 in the NLT. It says, all athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it to win a prize that will fade away.
Right. It says all athletes are disciplined in their training, because even back then you had, you know, well, they say the Olympics originated from Greece. You know, that was like a Grecian custom where people would, you know, participate in particular sports. Even the word sport is it shows up in I want to say 2 Samuel. You know, 2 Samuel chapter 2, right around there. You know, and other chapters too, right? But it says, read that again.
God, it's 1 Corinthians 9 and 25 from the top. All athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it to win a prize that will fade away.
Yeah, a prize that'll fade away, because if you think about who was the heavyweight champion of the world in 1950, you don't remember his name. Now you can go Google it up. You can go look it up. But, or you know, the NBA team that won 1985 finals. You know what I'm saying? I can't even, honestly, I couldn't even tell you who won the Super Bowl last year. Now, that's just me not paying. Oh, it's the Eagles, I think.
I don't know.
But the past 5 years, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
Like, it all fades in memory. That's the point we're making. It's all temporary. So the concept of, like, eternity is, like, almost like a foreign thing. Because you have to accept that, that's even a thing. Like, who do you know that's immortal, right?
Exactly.
So you even believing that immortality is possible by any means, that requires a certain level of faith. Okay? All right, keep going.
I'm reading from the top. I'm reading our review. 1 Corinthians 9 and 25. All athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it to win a prize that will fade away, but we do it for an eternal prize.
An eternal prize. Not a prize that will fade away, but an eternal prize. Okay, and that eternal prize is everlasting life, rulership, dominion, okay? Rulership over the nations, and control over the resources of the earth, because guess what? Esau has that right now. And that's okay. It's okay that he has it right now, because the scripture says in Revelation 20 that Satan is going to be loose for a little season. So we're in that little season right now where he has control over because what he doesn't want you to know is that during the Byzantine Empire, okay, where Jake was ruling, where they say the Dark Ages, right? We had a majority. Now, you know, you had other, like, you know, empires like Mongol Empire, you know, different nations that had their regions, but we had a high level of autonomy and a high level of jurisdiction in the earth. You know, back when Esau was relegated, you know, he was relegated to his caves. You know, he was in the prison. He was shut up for 1,000 years. You see, So we're gonna get that back, man. Okay, 100-fold, like the scriptures say. Let's get that next because my phone's probably gonna die. Did you finish that point that you had?
Yeah, that was it. I wanted to mention something too because, like you said that, because the scriptures speak about how the word of the Lord endureth forever. And what you notice is anybody that's labored for Esau, they always have a temporal crown. But anybody that was aligned with the will of the Lord, they have an everlasting name. Right. When you think about it, because you still talk about Egypt and Moses. These are people that labor for the Lord, you know, and they have an everlasting name.
That's right. Yeah, the Lord's gonna, well, that's your name being written in the book of life, because ultimately when Yahushua comes back to vindicate us, okay, like we read in that 1 Corinthians 15, we're gonna be changed, man. We're gonna put on those immortal. Yeah. I don't know if we got that far. That whole chapter talks about it, around 52, 53. You know, we're gonna cast off that corruptible and put on that incorruptible. Okay.
Matthew chapter 19 and verse 25.
It's not verse 20, 24, 20. Oh, okay.
The point is right here. The point is right there.
Verse 27?
Yeah, but this is the question. That's why.
Okay, no, verse 27. Start at verse 27.
Matthew chapter 19 and verse 27. Then Peter said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore?
Right. So Peter brought it up to Yahushua. Hey, you know, of course, like, you know, we've made you a top priority in our life, Lord. You know, if you start any endeavor, if you start a job or anything like that, you want to know what your wages are, right? So Peter's asking, you know, are we going to have anything to show for it? You know, by doing this? Go ahead.
Matthew 19 and 28. And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration.
In the regeneration, break that down, Christians. Go ahead.
When the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory.
Right, coming back into the flesh, that's regeneration. Okay? When we come back into the flesh, all right, ultimately, when our flesh is made incorruptible, right, when we are perfected, right, go ahead.
Ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right, now this was an answer directly, all right, to the apostles. Well, at that time they were known as the disciples, right? The 12, okay, sitting on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so the apostles, they're gonna have the ability to judge. Okay, when Yahushua comes back, there's gonna be a time period, okay, where people are gonna have to either get down with Yahushua, all right, or they're gonna have to be put to death. Okay, even amongst our nation, because you got all Israelites are in here in Babylon the Great. There's going to be other rebels that are going to need to be purged out. All right, so that judgment of the 12 tribes is going to happen. Okay, during that time, and anybody that doesn't want to get right, that doesn't believe in Yahushua in those times, they're going to be what? Judged. They're going to be deleted, man. Okay, judgment shall be executed. Okay, is there more?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 19 and verse 29. And everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake.
Right, so he extended it and said, anyone that forsakes and does the things that y'all, forsakes the things pertaining to this life, and they do the things that the apostles at that time were doing, which was following Yahushua, this is the reward that they're going to get. Go ahead.
Shall receive an hundredfold and shall inherit everlasting life.
They're going to receive 100-fold. So that's what we're looking forward to, receiving 100-fold. And that's really just that ain't, it's going to be more than that. You know? Yeah. Just to get you thinking like, damn, 100-fold. You know what I mean? You can't even think. You can Mike can conceive double. Like, okay,
Yeah.
let's say if you make, you know, $20 an hour. Okay, if you made $40 an hour, maybe you could imagine how your life would change. But it's pretty damn hard to imagine what it would be like if you making $20 an hour. What it would be like to make $200 an hour. That's only 10 times. So imagine 100 times. If you made $2,000 an hour, right? You can't even think about now. But that's not even. Obviously, it's going to be more than that because it's going to be in the kingdom. So it's going to be infinite. But the point being made, it's going to be an unconceivable amount of blessings that we get. Think about it like this: when Job was vindicated, and the Lord vindicated Job, and he made it, and he passed the test that the Lord put on him. The Lord gave Job what? Twofold, basically, of whatever he lost. Right? He got everything back that he lost, and then some. So imagine 100-fold. You see?
And he was the wealthiest person in that land at that time.
Yep. You see? So anyway, that was the main one I wanted to get. My phone, we've got probably like time for one more precept. So yeah, let's go ahead and close it out on that.
It's Matthew chapter 6, I'm gonna start at verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth.
Yeah, you don't want to be big on thinking that that's your salvation. That's what Esau does. He banks on the bunkers being his salvation, right? We banking on Yahushua being our salvation. Go ahead.
Yep. Where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where neither thieves do not break nor steal.
Yep. Lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, and that's what we're doing. We're offering up spiritual sacrifices to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay? And that's the main thing that's going to earn us, because the scriptures say in 2nd Ezra, I believe 2nd Ezra chapter 9, shall be able to escape by his works. See? But faith without works is dead. So you gotta have works. Okay? But you gotta have faith in order to do the works. But if you have faith, it's gonna produce action. Right? Go ahead.
Yep. Like verse 21. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
See that? So whatever you value in life, that's what your mind's gonna be focused on. You see? Whatever means the most to you, that's what you're always gonna be thinking about, meditating on. How can you satisfy that desire? You see? So you